All right, so today we have a clip here. It's just audio of Fox News's Mark Levin, the serious Fox News host. He only has a show once a week because he's the serious host. He has more important things to do. Um, Talking about jailing Alvin Bragg, Manhattan District Attorney, heading up the criminal probe against Donald Trump.
Sure, you're right. I don't want to get into the weeds because the weeds are irrelevant.
And he starts out by saying that he doesn't want to get into the weeds. We don't want to talk about the details about what Trump did because, the details are irrelevant. It doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter if it's illegal or not. This is Fox News' serious host, guys. It doesn't matter. The details are irrelevant because it's Trump. It's Trump. He can do whatever he wants. You can grab him by the pussy. It doesn't matter. It's Trump, baby. It doesn't matter.
This isn't a crime.
It isn't a crime. How do you know that? How does Mark Levin know that? Again, we don't know. We don't know if Trump potentially committed business fraud by making these payments. We don't know. We don't know. What we do know is that Stormy Daniels agreed to give an interview to In Touch magazine about the alleged affair, and she said an unknown man had approached her and her infant daughter in Las Vegas and told her to leave Trump alone. We also know that before the episode aired, a shell company linked to Michael Cohen, Trump's personal lawyer, threatened Stormy Daniels with a $20 million lawsuit, arguing she had broken their non-disclosure deal or hush agreement. And then, again, we know that there was money paid by Michael Cohen at Trump's direction to Stormy Daniels. That is something that we do know. We already know that.
Period. He can write it out anything he wants to. It's a non-disclosure agreement. A non-disclosure agreement can be a legal expense. So if he puts it in the legal category, it's perfectly fine. I don't care if it comes out of his pocket. I don't care if it comes out of the trust, if that's what they're doing, reimbursing.
But again, he says, Mark Levin is saying, I don't care where it comes from, but it doesn't matter what your opinion about the matter is. Okay? We can't, if we went off of opinion for everything, if everything was based on opinion, if the law was just up to be interpreted by anyone's own opinion, then I don't know where we would be. But that's not how it works. Again, this is Fox News. He's the serious Fox News host, guys.
It's a legal expense. Call it what you will. It doesn't matter. It's not like he's concealing the expense.
He was. What the fuck is... What in the fuck does he think hush money is? What does he think it is? He says he's not concealing this expense. That's like one of the main issues here. What? What?
Not like he's...
I know he didn't say that. And maybe he... I know he can't be that dumb. He had to have misworded that, right?
Avoiding taxes or anything of that sort. The only reason...
Donald Trump himself has come out and said that he has publicly and proudly acknowledged that he doesn't pay any money in federal income taxes. He has literally came out and said that he uses the tax loopholes and exploits the tax loopholes that are there for billionaires. Mark, what are you saying? He's not even close to being right about anything that he said.
He's and Bragg and the rest of them even know about it is because he reported it, right?
Sure, yeah, because it's
so it's not a crime. The district attorney does not have jurisdiction because he keeps pointing to...
What do you mean the district attorney does not have jurisdiction? What do you mean? Who has jurisdiction then? If the people that are supposed to prosecute criminals for criminal activity don't have jurisdiction, who the fuck has jurisdiction? What are we doing? Does he want vigilantism, or does he just mean it in the fact that he doesn't have jurisdiction because Trump's a former president? Is that what he means?
The federal election statute is really the only basis he has to try and create a felony here, and it's not the case. So from beginning to end, this is a non-existent crime.
Non-starter.
It's a non-starter, but look what this guy's done. And you are indicting A man who's leading right now for the Republican nomination for the presidency against another Democrat.
Again, it just 100% exposes the Republican grift. He's saying, you're trying to you're indicting a man. You indicted the man who's leading the Republican nomination, bro. That shit doesn't matter. Why? Again, this is something that I say all the time. This is something that I say about people like police officers and politicians and anybody. We have to hold everyone to a standard especially when it comes to enforcing laws and prosecuting people that are criminals. I think that we have a lot of problems in this country. I think that we have a huge mass incarceration problem. I think that there's just problems that are layered on top of each other for everything in the I guess what you would call the criminal legal system, because I don't think it's a justice system. I really don't believe that. That's what they call it, but I don't believe that. If we're not going to hold the President of the United States to the same standard we would hold a normal, regular, non-former president, civilian, how does that make sense? In my opinion, we should be holding someone like Trump to a higher standard, not the same standard as normal people, because again, he was the highest office in the land, but when it makes sense to hold him to a lower standard. And again, I know that this, Trump's not the only person that, this has ever happened to. This is something that's routine in this country. Politicians, they get away with shit that normal, everyday civilians might not and probably won't get away with, especially people that don't have a lot of money. Okay? It's just ridiculous that these people are just, they're so obvious with their rhetoric. They're so obviously Republican grifters. You can tell that they don't give a fuck about any of this. They don't give a fuck about, you hear it all the time. They say law and order, we need law and order. But then when it comes to Trump, it's not law and order. It's a criminal, politically motivated prosecution. And, it's because Alvin Bragg's a Democrat, Trump's a Republican. They want to lock the Republicans up.
Alvin Bragg should wind up in prison.
Alvin Bragg should wind up in prison for what?
Election?
For interfering with the election. Okay. No. How is he interfering with the election? Number one, the election is... There's no election happening right now for the president right now, okay? He's not interfering in the election. And again, we know for a fact that two former prosecutors, two former people that were working on this case, they actually resigned because they said that they pretty much had sufficient evidence Trump committed fraud, Trump committed business fraud, and they resigned because they said Alvin Bragg wasn't doing a good enough job prosecuting Trump and going after him on charges they pretty much said that they knew they could bring against him. So this is just all goes back to Mark Levin's claim he doesn't want to get into the weeds, aka the details about what happened, because that would make everything that he said thus far, after that, just fly right out the fucking window.
The Democrats keep interfering with elections.
The Democrats are the ones fearing with elections. Meanwhile, we have people like Donald Trump that make calls down to Georgia and say, "Hey, can you just can you find these 10,000 votes for me?" He tried to seize voting machines. Donald Trump tried to get the military to seize voting machines. You can't. That is. I don't even. That's not even interfering at that point. That is literally trying to steal the election. That is literally rigging the election. You cannot confiscate voting machines. No one. He was talking about jurisdiction. You don't want to know what no one has jurisdiction to do? Seize the fucking voting machines. The president does not have jurisdiction to do that, but Trump tried to do that. So talk about that.
Whether it's Russia collusion, whether it's this, whether it's the FBI, and then they tell you that we've had the cleanest elections in American history, when that is an impossibility given all the strange changes that have been made to election laws in every state by Democrat lawyers, Democrat governors, Democrat legislatures.
What are the strange laws? What are the strange laws? Strange new election laws. And how is that led to unsafe? Because he said we've had the safest elections, and we know that that's not true. What is the unsafe part? Explain. Tell me.
And Democrat secretaries of state. right, my friend. Thank me for your call. All right, Mr. Producer, do we have another?
And that's the end of the clip. There, Fox News's Mark Levin, the serious Fox News host who only hosts his show once a week because clearly he has better things to do. That's going to be it for the video. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press the bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.